And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends at yarnspirations.com. I fell down a rabbit hole today, and I think it's a good teachable moment. Had a consumer message me at 6 o'clock this morning and said that one of our patterns by Jeannie is messed up, and would I take a look at it? And they were really gracious about it. Uh, so the counts are apparently wrong. So I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to get back to this consumer, that I want to make sure that the counts are actually right. And I could have drawn this with hand, but chances are I would have to send this back to the consumer with the proof that it's actually working. But I fell down the same rabbit hole that this consumer did. And the consumer said that the round 10 counts are not accurate. And so I got to round 10 and I'm like, oh my God, it's not accurate. And a great tip for crocheters is to make sure that you do not fall down the rabbit hole when it comes to doing stitch repeats going across. So it says chain 3. So we read this going in this direction here because the chain is at the start of here. So we read it counterclockwise. So it says chain 3, 1 double crochet into the same space. Okay, no arguments to that. It says 1 double crochet into the next 7 stitches, and in the pattern it's stated, which the consumer I think understands, is that a chain 1 is counted as a stitch. So we have our first 2 in, and then we start counting 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which takes us to the space. It says chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So we chain 1, skipped 1, 1 double crochet into the next. And then it says skip 1 and 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches. So when you skipped this one here, we just double crocheted 9 stitches after that. So we started here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And so then the repeat actually starts from what we did here. Excuse me. And so we chain 1 and we skip 1. So we chain 1, skip 1, and then we double crochet into the next stitch right here. And then we chain 1 and skip 1. So chain 1 and skipped 1 right here. And where the consumer is falling down and where I made the mistake is that I assumed that this stitch right here that was going in was not counting as anything. And so I thought there was a stitch off. So it says 1 double crochet into the last 7 stitches. So the last 7 actually starts right here. Excuse me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The consumer then has to do the corner. So the 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. So I think that the crocheter is falling down right here. When it says the last 7, they may be including this 2 double crochets that are in the corner as the last 7, because that is not part of the last 7. So last 7, then you proceed into the corner. Does that make sense? So where I was falling down was right here at the end of chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet into the next 7. And I was expecting that it would say 1 double crochet into the chain 1 space and then so on. But the way that Jeannie wrote the pattern many years ago is that she said that chain 1s are counted as a stitch. So it's actually makes a lot of sense when it comes to stuff like this. A lot of new crocheters, they get hooked up on the idea that when they're doing this all the way across, that they don't see that there's extra stitches left because they have not formed their corner. And the corner is usually called out separately, just like you see. Is that making any sense? So what I'm going to do for this consumer, I've actually been at this for an hour already, is that I'm going to finish round number 11 for them and then send this back to them so that they can physically see the stitches. If they don't know how to read crochet diagrams, that's on them, but that's the only way for me to verify. I'm a very visual person. That's why we do crochet videos. And without this, I would be lost without actually being able to count it because I run out of fingers and toes when you're counting this. So the written instructions would normally say last 7 stitches before the corner. No, it just says the last 7 stitches. So it would just say last 7. So it's written correctly. It's just the corner is called out separately. So it says 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space. So what I think they're assuming is that the last 7 is going to take you right to the chain 2 space and is not including this corner. and that's fine. I think that's a regular thought process for new crocheters. I think one of the biggest elements that new crocheters have, which I don't know how to communicate very well, is that we have a line that comes on up here, and I'm going to draw another line. And I don't know how to communicate with crocheters that when the stitches per side is given, it never includes the chain two of a corner. And people assume, and rightfully so, that maybe the corner is included. So what they do is they move it back. And so then their stitch counts are all off because they include one of the chains that's part of the corner, when in actual fact, the chain twos of there are never counted as um, stitches per side. And that's my own rule. I don't know if that's a standard rule in crochet, because it doesn't make sense to give you a corner chains, because it doesn't make sense in my opinion. So what I do for myself, and the consumer will not see this, is that I write down the stitch counts so that I'm verifying that with myself. But when this goes out to the public, these numbers are missing, and I only do it for myself in order to get the mathematics in order to make all this work, because all of the angles in everything that this does has to be able to work out, and it's really reliant on these numbers from the back end. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're going for that. So I think it's a great teachable moment, and I probably have another half hour, and then I'll get this to the customer or the consumer, and hopefully she's on her way. But I really originally did think that there was a mistake in the pattern, because I misread it like she did, but it was just a matter of probably too early in the afternoon here in Nova Scotia. It's now 2:16 p.m. Nova Scotia time, and we hope you have a great afternoon or morning wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for listening, and I hope this may help at least somebody, including this customer. We'll see you. Bye. Oh, why not leave? Okay, hang on, one question. Why not leave those stitch counts if that it's helpful for you but not for the user? Because people are going to mess up with these numbers. I don't trust that these numbers should be sitting there. I have done it before, and then people are like, well, is this round 9 or is it round number 29? And so the more information that you provide to the consumer, the more information that they are going to screw up. So this is only for myself, but if the consumer actually counts this number, they'll get the same number. But the less information sometimes is the easier way to go. And is this leaving these numbers are not a standard of crochet, so it's technically not right to leave that in there. But I'm not saying I shouldn't. I'm just saying I just don't do that, because I get more questions about these numbers when they appear in there. And it's easier to leave them out so it doesn't become a question. I know. I know. That's it for now. We hope you have a great afternoon.